Well, I didn't bring you a video last night. A lot went on. What's wrong? I gotta warn you. Why? What are you doing?
If I pick my nose or something.
Well, that's on you. That would be great. That would be in video. There's Ava. The whole family, we are on our way to Michigan. We're on our way to Silver Lake is where we're going tonight. We're going to have a little bit of a late supper. I was on my way down and it dawned on me we weren't getting there until 3:30, but that wasn't Daddy's fault. That was Mommy's fault and the 3 kids. Can't run with the big dog. I was ready to rock this morning.
How many times are you going to say
I like that saying. I'm going to get it on my shirt.
Do you know who says that?
Who?
Your dad.
That's where I get it from. There you go. What else did he say? He said,
what's a big
you can't, what does he say? He said you can't, something about you can't hoot with the owls at night and something in the morning. I forget the saying.
That must be an old saying.
No, it's not. I heard somebody said it on a movie I saw last month. I laughed because I knew I had heard it a long time ago. So, can't run with the big dog.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
I was fine this morning. I bounced up 7:45. I was ready to go. Addie Bear was actually mildly ready to go. Mama Bear, not ready to go. And the 2 other ones were not ready to rock either. So we didn't actually leave the house till like 10:30. Then I got Starbucks. Back to that. I don't know if you've been noticing the last few days. I was trying new things out. I went back to the vanilla latte with the strawberry foam. It's hard to beat it. Even got Amy on the strawberry foam. See that? Now, as I said, I didn't do a video last night. I didn't want to wake everybody up on the way home. I wanted to assess the entire day. Plus, I want to articulate this properly because it's very, very important. Last night, the 13th race got canceled, and I was put in a position where I think, in hindsight, I played a big role in canceling that race, and I always feel bad about that. As you're a driver, you don't want to be the guy to say, no, I don't want to race, because then every trainer that's been there all night, every caretaker, every owner is going to say, yeah, the baby that makes 5% doesn't want to drive. And I've been on both sides of that fence many, many, many times. And what had happened last night, you guys saw Patrick the Piranha's race. You might have looked at it and said, that's a lot of rain. You have no idea how much rain actually fell out of the sky and how hard it was raining. It was raining so hard in the first turn, I could barely see ahead of me. I don't know that I've been on the road and had to pull over. If we were driving in that rain, you would have to pull over. There was no way you could actually drive a car in that weather. And it lasted for 7 or 8 minutes. And what happens is, washes the track out a little bit. So I knew by the time I come off the track, there's no way they're going to race the next race. It's impossible. The rain dissipated. They went out with the screens. And the track looked okay. So I had voiced my opinion when I came in and said, I don't think we should race this last race. I know there's going to be a lot of people upset in the paddock, but I just don't think, for the horse's sake and for the driver's sake. And this was my point. Most of the accidents you see, right? Oh my God, there's a bad accident yesterday. It happens. People get hurt. Horses get hurt. It happens sometimes. We do our best to avoid those, but most of the accidents you see are on tracks that are deemed safe for the most part. I know there's been arguments back and forth about Northfield's track not being up to snuff or not being what it used to be. But for the most part, those accidents that we see, horse grabs a shoe or grabs a boot or puts a step in and falls down, these things happen. And those are on tracks that are deemed safe. But if you go onto a track that you have concerns about the safety and then there's an accident, well, that's on you, right? And this whole thing was going through my head. Amy and the kids are in the kitchen. You know I'm going to go out of there with my horse in the last race. And God forbid, I don't want to be the guy putting a step in and falling down going into the turn. I'm a big boy, and I can deal with broken bones or injuries if it happens to me, but getting other people hurt, well, that's something different altogether. So we went back and forth, and management wanted to race the last race. I get it, that's your job. So finally I went out in the paddock and I asked Mr. Rickard, the horse I was driving, Andy, I said, hey, I'll just score your horse down. And as I started into the backstretch, it didn't feel that bad, but as we got to that first turn, there was a few little waves. Because what happens is you hit these crevices, right, that the rain just kind of washes away. And when you screen it, you fill that in. Realistically, what you have to do is really grade the track a little bit, get those waves out of it, and then put some material down, screen it. But how can you possibly do that when you're going into the 13th race, the last race of the night at 9 o'clock at night? We realistically couldn't have safely, in my opinion, now I'm not a track guy, but realistically speaking, I don't think you could have raced that race until 9:45. You want all your patrons there for another hour, your horsemen, your drivers, your trainers, to go out and race the 13th race. It just didn't seem plausible to me. And I think I ended up being a voice for everybody, and I have my regrets in that. I'll have my voice for me, and I spoke to the management after, and I got the feeling that they, gentleman was a little upset, and the argument at one point got a little heated, and I told them, I don't think that I'm in a position to speak for anybody. I don't live in Pennsylvania, I'm not from here, I'm not on any track committee, but I can guarantee you I will speak for myself and speak for my family. And regardless of what happened, I wasn't going on the track in the 13th race. And I don't care what anybody thinks. But that doesn't mean that I should speak for everybody else. So anyway, it just ended up being this whole turmoil for no particular reason. And I didn't want to do a video in the dark with the kids asleep when I was still a little bit heated. So I didn't do a video last night. But man, what a great night. We opted to race Rock Shining Star in the Open. He fit below the Open. But my thoughts on Rock Shining Star was to bring him home, train him Monday, and bring him to PEI. But if I'm going to be able to get a real good tightener into a really good race on a Saturday, 7 days for the Gold Cup, that's what I was going to do. Somebody had said to me, they saw my video the other day, well, Anthony, those horses need to be acclimated. I know you said you don't like going down 10 days before, but I don't really think that going down 3 or 4 days before is the way to go. Really? Sintra went down on Tuesday of the week before the Gold Cup. He arrived Tuesday night. He arrived Thursday morning, early morning Thursday, and raced in the Gold Cup. I don't know if you remember or not, but he won the Gold Cup that year. I don't think they need to be down there in 10 days more. Absolutely not. I just don't. They're not 2-year-olds. These are racehorses. And going down, to me, it just seems unnecessary. So our horses are going to leave either Monday night or Tuesday morning. They are back in Ontario right now. We're going to run some fluids into them today and tomorrow. Light jogging tomorrow, a little field time in the morning. Some light jogging in the morning. Pack them up and head down to PEI. James will drive Save America on Sunday. The driver for Monday is unknown yet. I don't know what I'm going to be doing the entire week. I think I have Gold Cup Day hammered down. I think. But that's not a certainty. Most importantly, I wanted to give our clients an opportunity to soak it all in. Right? Take in the experience. If you can get to Prince Edward Island, go to Prince Edward Island. I'm a little biased because I'm an Islander, a Canadian first and foremost. You guys know that. But from my standpoint, the best week in horse racing is Gold Cup week, and that's not because it's a half-mile race, a little half-mile track race, and it feels like home. That's not it. The entire town is touristy. You have 5-star restaurants everywhere. You can go out in a boat if you want to, right out of the harbor. The golf, for those of you that are golfers, avid golfers, top notch. They're all government run and operated golf courses. They are really, really nice golf courses. It's a really nice place to be. So if you're thinking, I might go, take the time to go. Yes.
Are we almost there?
No, we are not almost there. We are exactly 4 hours and probably 10 minutes away.
It would be the same as traveling to Canada.
From right here, yep, it would be there. That's what she does now. She thinks it's funny. She thinks it's funny on video. Yeah. So, it's a great time to be had, and make no mistake, everybody should take it in. You know what? This video is dragging on. I'm going to make this my opening. I'm going to talk about all the horses this week. You're in my opening. Amy, for those of you that are wondering, is going through right now working and trying to finish up your bills. Your billing for this month. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Amy. A lot. So let's talk about what's going on. So PEI should be a lot of fun. It will be a lot of fun, and it's just one of those things that I wish I did have more time. Same as James does. I guarantee you James wishes to death he could go. The Wellwood. We're going to have Chicago Hall racing in the Wellwood on Gold Cup night. And that's the night. I know that I may, as of right now, have a way to get from the Poconos to Prince Edward Island. Amy's really excited about that. The thought of flying in that little airplane. Does it bother you? You would never do that? If somebody said, here's a 2-seater, you want to go where you want to go, you wouldn't go. You wouldn't go. You're such a chicken. You realize the person flying the plane has every bit as much to gamble as the person sitting in the plane, right? I don't have a problem with it. So Dr. Ian Moore is a very experienced pilot. Aside from being a veterinarian.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah. That's how James got to the Meadows the other day. Was Ian? Yeah. So a little background for those of you that don't know, Ian Moore was a veterinarian in Prince Edward Island forever. I don't know where he originally comes from. I think might be Irish, Scottish, I think, something like that.
What do you mean?
I don't think he was born in Prince Edward Island.
Yes, he was.
No, I don't think so. I think if you look, he was not. Here's a guy. When I was a kid, do you know what he did when I was a kid? Aside from being a top veterinarian, he raced cars when I was a kid. He did, Ollie.
Of course.
They're like the little roadsters or whatever. Like, I don't want to say NASCAR, obviously, but he raced race cars. So he's always had his hands in racing of all kinds. And then also a pilot, owns his own plane. And a lot of these guys will jump in with Ian where they're going. Now, Cody, what's that horse name? Cody, his horse. No, Captain Cody, come on. Cody horse that raced in the Adios, give Ian Moore's that Aaron drives. Nice for being up in the times. He's going to be racing at the Beal also. Today, I guess we'll say, I'm jumping around a little bit here, but today we did accept our invitation to the Milstein next week with Time Is On My Side, so that's exciting. He'll follow that up with the Hemp the week after. So back to Ian Moore. He raced cars. He was a top veterinarian, very good trainer, and I've known Ian Moore since I was probably 10, 12 years old. He tells the best story of Dad ever. He's the one that tells the story about the goat ran through the screen door with the peanut butter on his foot.
Hennessy.
Yeah, but where do you think Hennessy got it from? Got it from Ian Moore. We used to have a goat when I was a kid.
In your house?
No, he was never in our house. He would get in our house, though, because, we would leave the door open or whatever. Dad bought a screen door. He still would get in the house. So he would eat everything, as goats do. And, of course, one of my brothers left the peanut butter jar. The goat got the peanut butter jar down, and he heard somebody coming in the door and got scared and went to take off, stepped in the peanut butter jar, and ran out the door, ran through the screen door, and on the other side of that screen door was Dr. Ian Moore, and he was telling the story about the goat with the peanut butter poultice on his foot. I almost died myself when he told the story. It was the best story ever. And you ask him, he'll tell you the story. He was actually there. That's who was there. So he was there to check him there or something. So Ian, I've known him a very, very long time. So I had asked him if I could get a ride from. I said, "Hey, do you want to fly down? You're racing the Cody horse in the Max Hemp. We'll be racing." Clever Cody. That's right. Good job. Did you look it up? Good job. Clever Cody in the Hemp. We'll be racing in the Hemp also. And I have two horses in the Beal that day. We'll talk about last night with Ready for Landing also. So your band, never again allowed to be around Ready for Landing. He said, yeah, and he's looking it up because he's always inquisitive too. He goes, 4 hours and 15 minutes. I think he said right down the coast, but I don't know what coast. He said 4 hours and 15 minutes. He said it shouldn't be a problem. Cool. So that's the plan for right now. Is I'm going to race in the Poconos in the afternoon, fly right to PEI. He figures the ETA from the Poconos to PEI at that time of day would get us there around 10:30 PEI time, which is an hour before the race. So it's it'll be a cool Saturday for sure. But it doesn't help for the rest of the week. I would love to be in Prince Edward Island. I haven't golfed in 5 years, but it would be nice to go down, have a couple of beers with my dad, my uncles, and friends and golf. But it's just not an easy time of year for me for sure, and even harder for James. For a kid that's never won the Gold Cup, always wanted to, and will. He just can't get away because he's got that Wellwood race that night. So that's the plan. What's that? Yeah, I don't know.
It used to be in September.
What used to be in September?
Wellwood.
Are you sure? Yeah, because I think he won some other race on the Gold
And
Cup.
after COVID.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So enough about the peanut butter poultices and enough about the planes and everything else. Let's just talk about our barn. We're at the 15-minute, almost 16-minute mark of the video. Let's talk about our barn. Yesterday was a great day. We've had a very, very, very good summer, great summer, and there's no denying that. I think everybody's happy. It was funny. I had somebody last week say, I watch your videos. So first off, you're not a client, but you watch your video. Watch all my videos. Okay, cool. And then they said, you're having a good summer. I said, but you're not having like a Nancy Tactor summer or, a great summer. I said, well, I guess that's all in perspective, right? The difference between most stables and ours is if any of those stables throw a couple of bad years together, they don't exist anymore. Our stable exists. What are you doing there, Pumpkin? What are we doing?
Building her own barn.
What you doing?
What?
What you doing? What are you doing?
I want to play with my horses.
Oh, you want to play with your horses? All right, honey. Away you go. Yeah, and I told them, I said, it's all about perspective. If you think that our barn is a failure, if we don't win the North American Cup, Meadowlands Pace, or Hambletonian Little Barn Jug, well, that's fine. But that's on you, not me. Our clients want to see our horses race well and do well and have a lot of fun. And that's what our barn is based on. So one might argue we actually have the most successful barn in horse racing, I suppose. Look, it's going to crash. The phone is going to crash.